Two dropshippers can sell the exact same product with one of them making $200 a day while the other makes $20,000 a day. Because the way you make fuck you money in e-com has literally nothing to do with your product selection or your fancy media buying strategy and a whole lot to do with a simple thing that I like to call offer hacking. Because I worked with countless students just like yourself that are stuck at a few $100s a day in sales, and it just feels like there's this invisible glass ceiling above you where no matter what you do, every single time you try to scale up your ad spend, your ROAS comes crashing down to the shitter and you really don't know what to do next. But the good news is you're really just one tweak away on your website that if you implement today can help you go from $150 a day in sales like my student Paul right here to $1,500 a day in sales and triple your conversion rate literally within the same week. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact offer hacking strategy that I've used to make millions in sales with my own dropshipping brands, but more importantly, help my students like Paul and like Marco go from $0 to $2,000 a day or $0 to $300,000 in the last 90 days, like my student Rainier. And when you implement this system, you can basically make any dropshipping product a winner when done right. So when we think about how do we make a no-brainer, irresistible Black Friday style offer that just makes people whip out their credit card faster than a child pedophile at a preschool playground, you need to be thinking in terms of this analogy right here. So imagine it's 3 a.m. It's a Friday night. You've been out, you've been drinking, maybe you spent a few $100s on shots because you're the man, and you realize, all right, I've had a few shots at some girls. It hasn't worked out, but there's that big Bertha torta at the end of the bar. I'm going to take her home. So she agrees, of course she is. She's desperate just like yourself. But before she can show you that she's a D1 eater, she wants to get fed actual food. And you're like, ah, damn, this is going to hurt my wallet. I had two options though. I can go to O'Malley's down the street. We can get a few appetizers, a main meal. But those appetizers, they're really going to rack up. I mean, each one of these is $15 for shrimp, for wings, whatever we're doing. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. But you realize that's going to be expensive. But what if there was a restaurant where you can get an offer of multiple appetizers for the price of one? At the greatest restaurant known to man, Chili's, where you can get the triple dipper. You can get wings, you can get burgers, you can get nachos for the price of one. That's a no-brainer. You know Chili's has got your back and is going to serve Big Bertha well. That is the type of offer where you can charge basically the same amounts, if we're really being honest, for the same dog shit quality food, but more people are going to choose Chili's every single time because that offer is so enticing. It's the same product, it's the same food, just a slightly different presentation. So how can we do the same thing with whatever dropshipping product you're selling, whether it's a supplement, whether it's a physical product where people are only going to buy one, or a clothing product? Well, let's break down the 3 best offers you can do today that I have split tested. I've been in the field. These are what convert at the highest level. So for our first one, this Pilates board, very simple product. It's blowing up. But the execution of this offer right here is very poor. There's no impulse. There's no urgency to want to buy it today because, oh, it's just $97. And sure, it's a fake 60% off. This is just an arbitrary random comparative number. And if you're looking at this, you may think this is a good deal, but the majority of people are going to say, you know what, this Pilates board is probably worth like 50 to 60 bucks. They're charging 97. I don't like that value gap. I just don't feel like the value I'm getting is worth the price I'm paying. So people aren't going to buy. But then you look at a brand that's doing $20,000 a day with this product, and they're charging more money than the beginner. They're charging $40 more. But what they do is they understand what their avatar wants, which is to get the complete bundle. They're newbies to Pilates, so they give them the socks, the bands, the sweat belt, everything that you can possibly have to get your desired result all in one offer. And you get all these free gifts. And the value of these free gifts is hundreds of dollars. So the perceived value of this offer, even though you're paying more money, is so much greater. It actually does feel like it's worth $300 rather than just a random $247 number that was pulled out of thin air. So the value stack, we're going to talk about how to set it up. We have an exact app that will help you set this up in minutes later on this video, so keep watching. But that is the first no-brainer offer that you have to be split testing with any product that you're currently working with. And if you're wondering, how do I get these free gift ideas? All you have to do, go on Amazon, look up your niche, and then the keywords afterwards will tell you what you should be selling. So socks, board, reformer, ball, ring, set. All these are great options. And of course, you can just look up the niche and see what are products. And typically, you want these products to be between $5 to $10 for you to fulfill. So that's not too much extra on your offer. So those are the things you can keep in mind. You can also do something as simple as a 1-year warranty. So if you go to the product section inside of Shopify, you can create a product where it's a 1-year warranty. All you have to do, title it 1-year warranty. and then find an image on Google of a warranty badge. You would just upload it right here, and then you can charge $9.99. You could say, I don't know, compare price to $14.99. That's really doesn't matter because you're going to offer as a free gift. So it's going to say, oh my God, you're saving $10 on this original offer. So there's little hacks like that. You can also do the same thing with free shipping. Say that the value is $4.99 or $5.99. And those are little things you can do to keep increasing the value of your offer. Now, if you do want access to the exact product page template that my students were using that were getting to $1,500 in sales, $3,000 a day in sales, and $300,000 in the last 90 days, like my student Rainier, then all you have to do is click the link in the description down below to join my free Discord, where we're actually giving away a ton of free resources, including my Shopify templates for clothing brands, for problem-solving products, my exact Facebook columns, and my best performing ad scripts. So if you are new to this game and you want to get some of the best resources completely for free, join that Discord, start using these resources, and it's going to help you improve your store, your ads, everything, so you can get your first winning product before Q4 starts. Now, getting into our second offer. When it comes to other products like supplements, a lot of people will do the very basic, yes, I want to get people to buy multiples. So what I'm going to do is a volume discount. So if you buy multiples on my product right here, we can see you save $5. Whip-de-frickin-do. Wow, that is really just life-changing. No. Very basic, very boring, very vanilla. So the next offer structure I love is utilize the word free. People love getting free gifts more often than when they're buying your offer. They actually think about the free gifts more than the actual main product that they're getting and that they're paying for. So with this style structure where you do a modified BOGO, in the sense of it's a fake BOGO, you can then price anchor, meaning people's value of this pack right here is $34.95 because that is what is being sold. That is what is being told to them as to the price you would have to pay. But with this fake BOGO, buy one, get one free, now the value of each one of these packs is $17, but you have the perceived value right here because you've seen it, it's $35 for each one. So I'm getting an absolute no-brainer steal. So there's little hacks like that where if you know, yeah, with supplements, 2 of these probably cost you $10, so you can sell for $35 and get a $25 margin, then you can have this dummy offer. It's the movie theater strategy where you make the small $8, but the large is $9, so it's a no-brainer to take the large every single time. When if you made the small $5 and the large $9, then that large doesn't look like such a good deal anymore. So it's all by comparison. So sometimes you got to sacrifice like a pawn to win a king or a queen and get that checkmate of that sale. So again, we'll talk about how to set that up, but that is another great offer structure I love. And when you're doing an offer like that, I highly recommend just throw your product into an image tool like Zora, for instance, or Hakesfield, and then just give it a basic prompt like make 2 of these so that visually people can actually see the offer that they are receiving. Super simple. So I did create a premium brand product photo with 2 of my product. Super easy, super simple, because I just like to visually show what the people are actually receiving. And then when it comes to the headline, as you can see right here, these guys did buy one, get one free. I'm not a big fan of that. I always like to have some sort of urgency. So for headline options, to actually give people a reason why you're giving them such a great deal, because if you don't give them a reason, a lot of times they're a little skeptical. You can do seasonal, so back to school BOGO sale, winter sale, Mother's Day sale. So you can throw in the season or whatever holiday is happening. You can do just general urgency, so limited time BOGO, clearance sale, something along those lines. Or a benefit like Ultimate Skin Transformation Bundle or new customer BOGO deal ending soon. This week only. Have a reason as to why you are doing the sale. And then the final offer, super simple, same product. This would be doing a bundle, because if you have a product where, let's say, so yes, it's a supplement, and for one, people are really only willing to pay $24.95 and the product costs you $5. So you have a $20 margin, which isn't good enough at scale. You cannot scale if your AOV is $25. It's just not going to happen. Every single store that is right now scaling in the dropshipping space has an AOV of at least 50, usually hundreds if we're really being honest. And they usually make a revenue per visitor of $2. So every time they have a visitor on their website, they make $2. That is the golden mark. But if your AOV, let's say, is $20, you need to get a 10% conversion rate to get you $2 a visitor. At scale, that is physically impossible no matter how dialed in your messaging, your ads, and your offer is. A more reasonable number, though, would be a 4 to 5% conversion rate, which means you need your AOV to be around $40 to $50. Way easier to do. So when you're selling supplements, a lot of times you may want to consider buy one completely off the table. You have to, at the bare minimum, buy two. And of course, we want to incentivize people to buy multiples. So you can do that through a bundle stack like this, where it's buy one, get one, buy two, get two, buy three, get three. So if you're selling a product where, again, the value of one is just not sustainable enough for you to sell it like that, then always start with some sort of bundle like this right here. So let's just briefly get into how to set this up. And if you've enjoyed this video, by the way, so far, before we set things up and teach you how to split test, make sure you leave a like, subscribe down below, because I drop bangers every single week on the latest strategies that are helping me grow my brand that you can implement to your store to scale your first $1,000 a day. Now, getting into setting this up, let's go to our first offer right here. So we had a simple little value stack. Now, I believe the best app for this personally is Moon Bundle. Moon Bundle is great. They have all these different templates, like unique offer with gifts. So all you have to do, choose your template, then you would choose whatever product it's going to show up for. So let's just choose the Dermalift right here. And it's going to be super simple. So in terms of all this stuff, when it comes to settings, doesn't really matter. So we are going to obviously title this Dermalift. The +4 gifts, I really don't feel like you need. In fact, I would actually do a save X amount. So save, let's say, $99 with bundle. And I love that it shows up underneath. I think that's beautiful. So I like to always make sure you're emphasizing the value that you were receiving. There's a fly that is trying to bite me. I don't blame it, because I'm an absolute snack. But getting into the gift section, this is the most important part. So you would choose the products you want to upsell. So we already talked about 1-year warranty. We can throw in here. I'll just do another one so you kind of just see how it looks. But super simple. You choose your products, and then when it comes to the gift title text, we would actually name it whatever the product is. So in this case, this would be a Derma roller. And then the other gift we had right here was our 1-year warranty. Now, if we were to do it exactly the same kind of style as our competitor, they like to bold the text. So we would go right here to gift title, bold, and then you can obviously customize how big or how small you like it. I like to try to fit it all in one line, just like that. And then the today only part, this would be, if we scroll here to our title, we can do exclusive sale, you can do BOGO sale, you can do, again, the seasonal winter sale, whatever is your reason. Have a reason though in the first place. And then 4 free gifts included. If I could spell, I'm sorry, I'm absolutely dyslexic. Rough. Okay, cool. So we got that here, and then you can customize the size. And then if I could spell exclusive, that would be lovely. Beautiful. Now, in terms of colors, let's say your color scheme is blue, pink, whatever it is, real quick, you can go to design, super simple here. So let's just do, okay, so it's not letting me choose, but we'll just do kind of a red. This fly is getting on my face. Definitely zoom in on this video and notice where the fly is, because he is trying to disrupt me. And then if we wanted to change this exclusive sale text, go to gifts, same thing. And then we do background label. We can make this the red. So we can change this. And then we want to do the same thing for, I believe specifically, sorry, some parents are a little bit new to this. I believe, so out of the gray ones here would be, yeah, this one. Beautiful. So we have it in pink. And then if we want to make this little label here, again, same thing, we'd have to go, I believe, to our offers. And then we have our values. So go to design. This would be specifically underneath. So we have to go to our subtitle here. And then we want to change specifically, that's the label text, my mistake. So we are going to go to background label, and then we're going to change that to the slight pink. And beautiful. Looks super simple. Very easy to do. Obviously, play around, customize it however you like, but that is the basic bones of how you would set up. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far and you want me to personally review your website, your ads, your products, everything you're doing so you can scale to $1,000 a day as fast as possible and just skip the learning curve, then click the first link in the description down below, as I'm currently accepting 3 new students for September inside my one-on-one program, where you not only get 6 group calls a week with yours truly, where I'm going to personally review everything that you are doing from your website, your ads, and answer all of your questions, but you get access to my entire Notion database of winning ad templates, product page templates, basically every resource that I use to scale my dropshipping brands to over $100,000 a month. So if you want to work with me and have the best guarantee in the business, where if you don't scale to $1,000 a day, I will keep coaching for free until you do, then click that first link in the description down below, and I can't wait to potentially work with you soon. A value stack offer with Moon Bundle. Now, going to our next offer. So we want to do the fake BOGO deal. That's specifically going to be with Kaching. So we're going to just hop on over real quick. And with Kaching, super simple. They already have, again, great format. So you just do the basic quantity breaks one here, but we'll customize it to make sure it actually fits. So going here, I believe they had something along the lines of buy 1 pack. And then they had I believe, 2-month supply label. So we'll just do 1-month supply here. Standard price, I'm not a big fan of. I typically like to do the amount that you're actually saving. So we're going to do subtitle of you saved X amount. And then if we scroll down here to our second option, this is where we're going to want to title it buy one, get one free. Super simple. And then for here, we already talked about labels. We're going to do 2-month supply. This fly is on my ass right now. And then we want to customize to make sure, I want to try to fit the label on the same line as the text. So we're going to just make the a little bit smaller here with our title. Bada bing, bada boom. Bundle and save, I'm not a big fan of. Again, I always like to have some sort of reason why the sale is happening. So you can do BOGO, sale ending soon, or new customer, BOGO sale ending soon, exclamation, something as simple as that. Doesn't have to be too complicated. So you have the buy one, get one free. We have the amount you're saving. We have the supply. This is really everything they had specifically. I mean, obviously these want to have this as variants. So we could just get rid of the variants right here. And then we make it super easy. Outside of that, if you wanted to customize colors, again, pretty easy. So for instance, like the label, if we wanted to change that to, a light red, and then we want to choose everything else to be kind of that light red. And also cards background, I usually like to make this white. And then the selected one, we'll do like a lighter version, just like this right here. So we do the red. And then I believe they also had that most popular badge as well in a different style color. So let me just see. I believe that would be badge. And then, customize it like that. And pretty simple. Again, that black border. So potentially on the one that's selected, you want to change that as well, just to match your theme and your color. So super simple. Looks cute. That is how you do that setup in terms of color. And the big thing here is that with specific, you want to make sure the prices are the same. So $69.99 is the option for one. So we want to do buy one, get one free. Make sure the specific is also $69.99. And that's how you would set up the fake BOGO to make sure they're the exact same price. But you have that quantity of two. So when someone chooses this option, they are getting two. But the deal and the perceived value is so much greater. Now, real quick, let's do our final one here. So if we wanted to do bundles, we want to have an option where people have to start with buying multiple. We want to do the buy X, get Y free deal. And then same principle here. So in terms of, if we want to set it up in that vertical style that our competitor was doing, we would do this option right here. And then I believe in terms of the typography for subtitles, I would want to make this bold. So we got bold right here. Beautiful. And then same thing, I would probably want to make this regular when it comes to that style for the buy one. Cool. So from here, I believe they did buy one pack, get one free. And then they also had the label as 2-pack at the top, Tupac. Not a big Tupac fan, honestly. I just don't really listen to old school rap like that. As old school as it gets for me, usually J. Cole is my favorite. Usually J. Cole is my favorite rapper of all time. Every time he has a concert in Miami, I am going. I've been to Forest Hills Drive. I've been to KOD. Every single album that he releases, I want to hear. I love him. I think he's by far the best rapper of all time just because of the lyrics. And then finally here, buy three, we'll get three free. Same principle, buy 3-pack. And then we'll do get 3 free. And then we don't need to have the free gift on top of that. And of course, if we wanted to throw in our custom image that we already made inside of ChatGPT, we'd just throw it in here, upload it, super simple. Now, in terms of any other real nuances, I do believe they liked to have the bold on the get 2-pack as well, and then try to make them relatively the same size in terms of the fonts. So if we scroll on down here, we can make the title just a little smaller. We can make it the subtitle a little bigger. And then we'd have to make sure the subtitle specifically isn't this gray. So if we go here, I believe this would be card background. I typically like to do white. And then scrolling on down, so subtitle, we are going to do black as well. And that's how you would accentuate it. That's how you make it look good. Bundle and save, we already talked about the different headlines I like to do, but that is as simple as you really need to do a bundle deal. Now you can do it in this vertical way, this would be more horizontal, my mistake. But I do prefer it in the vertical way, if I'm really being honest. I think it just looks better. You can do more with the customization. So I personally prefer doing it this way. And then finally, in terms of actually split testing things, so once you have multiple offers going on, you want to use the app A/B Convert, and it's incredibly easy. All you have to do, make 2 versions of your product inside of Shopify. So I have these dresses right here as an example, and I believe the difference is the price points on these. So if I'm testing a different price point, if I'm testing a different offer, I always start with offer first, and then you double down on trying different prices and different gifts. But once you have the right offer, so let's say in this instance, yes, this volume discount's what's working the best for me. Sure, we'll try 34 versus 44. Awesome. So all we have to do is grab one of our product pages, and then where is our A/B convert? Beautiful. We create a new test, URL redirect, super easy, super simple. Plug in your URL, get rid of the prefix, and then that would be the URL that you're actually sending traffic to on your Facebook or your TikTok. And then you make sure that all the traffic that's going to that page, 50% will go to your original, and then 50% is going to go to the other version. So drop that in, make sure each URL is different. So always just be checking. So we can see here, this one is number 2, and this one's the original. Beautiful. Click create test, and now all of your traffic is going to be redirected. And then if you're wondering, okay, how long do I let these split tests actually run? Usually it's going to be for a few days. I try to make sure you reach statistical significance, which basically means at a confidence level of 90%, is the data actually due to the change you made? Because if your confidence is at 50, that means basically the change you made in the 2 different offers, the results may be because of that test, but it's usually not enough data to actually conclude that. But if you're at a 90% confidence, that basically means the change you made is the reason why a product page either performed better or worse than the original. So as we can see right here, there's a 33% negative lift in conversions. So this product page performed 33% worse, but is it actually due to the split test that we did here, or is that possibly just the traffic? No, because we see here we got enough data to determine it actually was the offer itself that just wasn't performing as well as the original that made $4 a visitor compared to $3 the second version. So if you do this every single week where you're split testing a new offer structure, new price points, new gifts, you are going to keep making more money from every visitor. You're going to be able to spend more money and finally break through those glass ceilings that you've always been dealing with. Now, if you do want more help with your dropshipping store and personally have me evaluating your products, your websites, your ads, so that you can just skip this learning curve and have the best principles to scale to $1,000 a day as fast as possible, then click the first link in the description down below and apply for my one-on-one program. And on top of that, you get 6 group calls a week with yours truly, where I'm going to review everything, going to answer all your questions, and give you my entire database of ad templates, of product page templates, of every resources that I've used to scale to over $5 million in sales. So again, if you want to scale to $1,000 a day, or I keep coaching you for free until you do, then click that first link in the description down below, as we have 3 spots now available for September. So I can't wait to potentially work with you soon. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and watch this video next to learn exactly how I like to make my ads.